Hey, we're recording. Hey, everybody. It is November 5th. I had to actually just go look at that because I don't even know what day of the week it is. I've just been a hermit in my house for the last week. And we have our bi-monthly team call. And this week we have, I'll probably say it a lot of very special guests. But the thing about this guest that we have today is some of you are probably starting to grasp this concept, but the longer that you're in this business and the more that you participate in it, and you go on team trips and you go on like leadership and all of these things, you just start to meet really cool people. And some people, you're excited to see on the trip, and you notice that they're on the national wake-up call. You're like, oh, okay, I'll listen. And then there's just those people that you meet and you're like, where have you been all my life? I mean, you just instantly have this connection with this person, and you love everything that they stand for. You love their heart, and the fact that they'll tell you right up from the get-go that, they've had struggles as well, that this has never been easy for them, but it's worth it. And so it goes above and beyond, like, I'll see you next year on the trip. It's her and her husband are staying with me next week. And I'm just madly in love with both of them. If you haven't followed Chelsea that much on YouTube or Instagram or even Facebook, she is definitely one to keep on your top priority list, because she is a very, very smart cookie. And she touts, which I love about her, that she is a 3-time college dropout, which I love. And she's been a coach for 4 years now, and she has 11 diamonds in her business. And she's hit Success Club 22 months in a row. And so she definitely knows what she's talking about. And one of the things that I learned from her, and I'm constantly stalking her about, is her ability to be able to brand herself. If you don't see now, and we will, she's just such a beautiful person on the outside, which makes you just instantly attracted to her, but she is a million times more beautiful on the inside. And I was promised that her husband would make a guest appearance, so I'm hoping that he does, because he's just as wonderful as she is. But I'm very, very proud and honored to be able to introduce you to Miss Chelsea Pearson, who now has the floor.
Whoa, I just got all mushy-gushy. I was like trying to swallow my emotions. Thank you so much for, first of all, this opportunity and such an awesome introduction. My heart is racing, which means this is going to be an amazing call, because I'm going to be really real with you guys. And I hope that you guys know that you're on a very, very special team. And there are not many teams that have the culture and have the standards and have the heart and have the integrity and have the momentum that you guys do. And the leadership example that you have is, Melissa is somebody that Rob and I from day one have admired and set as an example for how we want to build our business. So this is like a really, really cool moment to be able to pay back everything that Melissa has done for our team and for our lives. And just, I can't even begin to go into everything, but is it cool if I take it away, Melissa?
Please, I'm ready.
Cool. Awesome. So I want to give you guys just a really quick introduction into my life. For a lot of us, this is our first date, and I am not a fitness expert. I grew up, I was fit, I was a dancer, I was an athlete, but I had reached these really traumatic circumstances and a really low point in my life where I gained 50 pounds in about a 1.5, 2-year period. And really was making poor decisions and feeling the consequences of my poor actions. And so what I decided to do was turn that completely around. I was seeing the magnitude as a young adult of the bad choices. So I wanted to make a comeback. And I realized that if I just turned that into good, constructive decision-making, I could change my life. So I signed up to become a coach when I was 21. I was still on my fitness journey. My upline coach is was an APD and a turbo kick and plyo and hip hop hustle instructor. So I was attracted to the light that I'm sure you guys either have yourselves as fitness instructors, or that you've seen in Melissa, or if you're certified, just that light, that special something that fitness instructors and who are also coaches have in bringing about potential and growth and confidence into people. And so for a very long time, I thought I had to be a fitness instructor. And I probably could if I wanted to invest that time, but I realized that my magic was what I had inside of me. Those scary, bleeping things that I don't want people to ever find out about me. Those experiences that I've had that bring me shame and bring me guilt and bring me just a lot of embarrassment, and I just kind of want to wipe it from my memory. Those are the things, those are the moments that actually position me to connect with people. And I don't air my dirty laundry on social media, but I've been able to build a brand and a team based on authenticity and just doing me. And I teach my team how to brand themselves in that same way. So I want to just encourage you guys tonight to open up your heart. Please have a piece of paper and a pen. If there's something that just kind of stirs your soul or makes you nod your head, please write it down, because the biggest lie that we'll ever tell ourselves is that we're going to remember things. I'll probably forget what I just said a minute ago. Write it down and write down how you feel, because a lot of times writing down bullet points, I'll make sure to share all these slides with you, but write down whatever, hopefully something that I say makes you feel, because that's what's most important. That's probably resonating and filling in that gap in either your personal growth or your business growth that is really going to take you to the next level. So I'm going to share my screen so that I can share my slides with you. All right, can you guys hear me? Yes, sweet. Okay, so a lot of times people ask me, what is your personal brand? All of this stuff I learned by studying the experts. So if you're here right now saying, it's funny because there's two different camps in social media. There are the coaches that are like, I love this, I love to brand myself, I love the visual stuff, I just want to create logos and graphics all day, and they don't build the business side. Or you're the opposite and you're like, I hate this stuff. This is the worst. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I want to simplify it for you so you feel confident. Your personal brand, you were born with your personal brand. In the womb, you were given your personal brand. So it's not something you have to discover. It's something that you are. You have to accept it. And it's perfect right now the way that you are. Because what you have right now is special and it's unique. And there's 200 million obese Americans right now. Like, not even overweight, not even fit, I want to lose 10 pounds, I want to take advantage of the opportunity. 200 million obese Americans. We have so many people to help, and the more you that you are, the quicker those people are going to find you. And it's going to be easy, like Melissa said, to just be around them. Like, you don't have to talk like a marketer. You can talk like yourself, because you and them are cut from the same cloth. So your personal brand is very simple. It is your mission. It is, I want to help new moms lose weight and realize this is not the end of their body. This is the beginning. Their body created something amazing. Or you're looking to help. Like for me, I just paid off my student loan debt. And so I want to help 20-something, 30-something, 40-something people who have this huge amount of debt leverage this opportunity. So whatever your mission is, if you don't know what that is, it can be a bunch of different things, but that is 50% of your brand. The other 50% is your personality. And I just want to encourage you, if you are sarcastic, if you are salty, if you are rebellious, this doesn't have to be a perfectly polished, fit the mold kind of a thing. But whoever you are with your best friend is exactly who you should be on social media. You've got it. So if you're super emotional or you're super sarcastic, whatever that is, I want you to be it. And that's the other 50% of your brand. It's really, really simple. And this is also why personal development is so critical, because very often we look at ourselves and we're the harshest judge of what we've got. And we say, well, this isn't good enough, or this doesn't match up to this top coach. But you're going to find your sweet spot by accepting that you right now are perfect the way that you are. So you can kind of break down your personal brand into 4 different segments. It's your content, so the actual things that you're putting on social media, your status updates, the photos, videos. If you love, I don't do podcasts, but if speaking and podcasting is something that you want to get into, that actual meat and the stuff that you're delivering is your content. And that's kind of what most people think of when they think about their brand, but it's also your style. So it's your copy, the words that you write, the way that you write them, the attitude behind it, the sweetness, the tough love. There's room for so many different kinds of coaching styles. Your colors, your fonts, your logo, the visual appeal, your profile photo, the way that you dress when you're at events. And again, this is like, some people just rock this. They nail it. They love it. And there are other people who are like, dress me, do my graphic designs. This is not what I'm great at. And so what I would encourage you to do, if that's you, or if you have coaches that feel that way, is I want you to think about brands that you love, like a clothing brand, a store, a movie. I mean, every single movie, every single album that's released, every single television show has a brand. So if you can start to identify the things that you love that are already established brands, like if you love Gucci bags, they're gray, black, red, and green. That's the colors. Like, you use those colors for your team. You're definitely not going to do it the same way that Gucci does it. So adapt it, but that's something you're drawn to. So utilize the work that other people have already done. It's also your engagement. So the comments and the shares that you do on your social media, the way that you present yourself in interviews or in local settings, in your class, if you teach fitness classes, the exposure that you get, the way that you treat people, the way that you respond to people. One of my favorite things about all of the Powder Blue Beachbody Master Trainer APDs and the entire fleet of instructors is the way that they make people feel. And I owe so much to the examples that they set, because I just love the way they make me feel, and I want to pay that forward. And that's a part of their brand, and that can be a part of your brand. Are you somebody that empowers every single person that comments on your photos? When I have a bad flight with Delta, I tweet about it because I know it's part of their brand to engage with me. And that's why I'm loyal to them, even if they mess up, because I know that I'm going to get a response on Twitter apologizing. And then it's your story. Like, we talk about story all the time, and that scares people too. Often the way that brand scares people, but your story is your journey. It's your experience with P90X, your experience with Shakeology, your experience with enrolling as a coach. I didn't know this was network marketing when I signed up. I joined for the community. That's part of my story, my brand. And every single one of you has a unique, how did I stumble upon this opportunity? So don't discount that. It's also your customer's journey. It's your coach's journey. Your brand is not just you. It's the greatest brands that are built, the greatest teams, the greatest coaches and leaders it's not about them. It's about how they treat people, how they empower their team, the success of their customers. The greatest thing that you can do is be a coach whose challenge group is known for results, because everybody knows that doing 60 days of insanity is going to get you results if you follow the instructions. But if you rock a challenge group and you're the person that you're like always posting these photos of your customers from your challenge groups, people are going to be more encouraged and more enticed to join you on that mission. And then finally, this isn't just past. This isn't just what you're currently doing. It's your mission for the future. I love when coaches post their goals for the month, or their goals for the year, or their vision for their life, or their dream board. And that is as much a part of your personal brand as your past. because that's where you're going, and you're telling people, hey, listen, this is where I'm going. If you want to come with me, you can. If you don't, you can stay here, but this is where I'm going. And that often leaves a huge lasting impact in your Facebook friends, and in your coworkers, and everybody that's in your sphere of influence. They know that you're on a mission to do something bigger. So I want to tell you guys this little story about social media. For me, in the beginning, I stumbled on Instagram, and I didn't really know what it was. I didn't have people who were interested in my challenge groups. I was doing Turbo Jam, I was doing Insanity, but what I did was I positioned myself as an authority, and I pretended like that people cared, and people were emailing me, and there was all this excitement and all this interest. And at the time, I was studying psychology and in my undergraduate studies, and I heard about this phenomenon. There's this example where somebody would be in a city street, and if one person looked up, the longer that they looked up, the more people around them would start looking up. And it would become this crazy chain reaction to the point where it was contagious. Blocks down the city street, people would be looking up. And so there's no shame in pretending like people are just, like, you guys see it. I have spots filling up for my challenge group. I only have 2 more spots, and that person needs 4 more successful points. But there's no shame in that. And so position your captions, position the things that you post. As I've been getting so many questions about how to create meals that are clean and healthy for my family, that are on a budget and easy to prep. Nobody could be asking you that, but when you position yourself as an authority in that way, it gives you an extra layer of credibility until so many people are watching what you're doing, because it starts slow for all of us. So when you post stuff on social media, I want to help you guys kind of identify, like, what do I post? What is this content? Does it mean anything? Does there have to be a strategy behind it? And what I would encourage you to do in just your business in general and your life is always identify your next step. That whole concept of reverse engineering. If you want to be a 15-star Ironman coach, or you want to lose 100 pounds, you can't just say, I want to lose 100 pounds. You have to focus on the next step in front of you. So for you, that may be Emerald rank, and that means you need 2 coaches. So you probably shouldn't be advertising your challenge group and the results from your customers if this month you want to sign up 2 coaches. And so what I like to do when I'm posting on social media is I structure my posts based on what is going on in my business. If my challenge group started on Monday, I'm not going to talk about my challenge groups because I'm not going to have another one that starts for another month. So based on what your goal is, I want you to start to post things that are relevant to that. And if you have nothing going on and you have, you don't have the bandwidth at the moment to take people on, or you're in a season of life where you have your coaches or you have your challengers, you don't have to do everything all at once. That's when you can share your story. That's when you can just let people get to know your personality and post about your life and get them to like you and establish this relationship that's just freely giving. I found that has really helped build my business because people just get to know how I decorate my house and the way that I take my coffee and things like that. So I use the 3 vital behaviors like crazy for my content, crazy. If I'm not doing my workout, I'm not drinking Shakeology, and I'm not reading personal development, I have nothing to post about. And so if your new coaches come up with that response, I don't know what to post, I have no idea, I have nothing to share, chances are they're not doing their 3 vital behaviors. And so I always check myself with that. And this is a list of questions that I share with my team. And please share this with your team if this will be helpful. But they're the value, the stuff that really connects people, that connective tissue. and draws them to you and allows them to trust you is that internal monologue that's going on while you're working out, while you're in those human moments and those crazy, busy, insane, normal moments in life that you think are actually a detriment to your business. They're actually a detriment to your fitness, physique, and your brand. Those are the things that make you human, and humans love humans. They don't want to work with robots. They want to work with people who understand them. So ask yourself, what am I struggling with? Is it the fact that I'm trying to keep, doing high knees and, in my insanity workout, and I'm out of breath and I feel like a failure, and then I remind myself, I want to inspire people today. Like, that's the kind of stuff that what you're thinking about. You can post about that. You can journal. It's almost like using Facebook as a journal, as a diary. And you don't have to get too personal. You can share what you want. But what I've found is that just establishes this trust in this relationship. And it's really personal to you, because like I was talking about earlier, your personality, your mission, that's so different from every other coach. And even if there's a mom that's building her business the way that you are, or a fitness instructor building the business the way that you are, they don't have your unique perspective. They don't have the life circumstances that you're going through. And sharing the fact that your dog is licking your face, or your kids are running around and they hit you in the head with a Nerf ball while you're trying to get your turbo workout in, that's the kind of stuff that brings you down to a level of your prospects where they say, well, if she can do that, I can do that. Because you don't want to be on a pedestal. You want to be on their level so that you can give them permission to do what you do and join you in this journey. So this is great accountability. I like to use, when I feel like I just don't have the energy for content, I like to create a weekly post structure. So you don't have to use all of these things, but when in doubt on weekdays when I don't have anything to post about, these are some kind of examples and prompts for me on social media. So one of them is to relive the month. And I create a little collage of my favorite memories from the last month or the last week. So it's kind of like a recap. You have content. You can share about your family, about what's going on at church, about what you accomplished during the week, about your workout. And it's a chance to reuse content. Because if you can reuse as much content as possible, you don't have to line your camera up and make sure the lighting's perfect. You can just take what already worked. And because of the way that social media works, chances are people didn't see that stuff yet, so you can reuse it. And if they liked it, they'll like it again. Another thing that I love is Moment in Time Monday. And these are hashtags that I make up, and you can make them up too. You have the power. You're the CEO of your business, and you decide what goes on your social media. So pick a moment in time that meant something to you and post about it. Transformation Tuesday is awesome for showcasing your customers' success, your coach's success, your own transformation emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. I love on Wednesdays what I'm doing now. And that's a huge hashtag on Instagram, but it's also a really cool way to engage your team. What you do is you literally just post, hey, this is what I'm doing now. Take a picture of your surroundings, and then you tag 3 to 5 people or 10 people, and I would imagine it would be really helpful to tag your coaches to encourage them to post on social media and just share what's going on. Social media is very voyeuristic, and it's a reality show for your life, so use that when in doubt. Throwback Thursday is another opportunity to use old content to remember a special moment in your life that showcases your values and your personality. And then I also like to do Feature Friday. So somebody in my business or my life that's just unbelievable and I want to offer them gratitude, but also Flashback Friday. So these are some things that I use to kind of trigger new content. So I want to let you in on this secret. This is how I stay sane and I'm not constantly creating content. I've created this virtual content vault. It's my Google Drive. And what I do is I pretend like I'm an art curator, and I collect things throughout the day, and nobody knows what I'm doing right now, and I don't like to put makeup on every single day, and I like to save my posts for like prime time social media, 8, 9 o'clock. And so what I do is, in my life, I want you to think about those moments when you're like, oh my gosh, I have to tell my best friend this story. It was crazy. This thing happened at the gas station. I can't wait to tell them. That's something the second that happens, the second something serendipitous or coincidental or amazing or this full circle, whatever, write it down in your Google Drive. Create a document. So I have lessons learned for when I make mistakes and I learn a lesson from them in my life, which happens every day. Quotes that I think are so funny on Instagram or Facebook, those viral ones, or inspiring. Stories, so things that I would tell my best friend or my husband or my mom, and then testimonies, when my coach shows appreciation or my customer tells me something just totally rocked their world and changed because of our groups or this opportunity. So I save them and I curate them, and nobody knows that they're not real time. And so what I do is I was actually inspired by Joan Rivers. I love to watch documentaries about people who are incredibly successful. And I was watching this documentary on Netflix, and they were talking about this huge like penthouse apartment wall, like library card catalog full of little drawers that have index cards in them. And Joan Rivers has written down every single joke in her 60-year career, and has them cataloged so she can always reuse them, and they're categorized. And so I figured out, I don't want to write things out on the index card. I'll use Google Drive for that very reason. And anytime I don't have content, this is what I use. And so this has been very helpful for me to be able to have that work-life balance and not feel like I have to always be on, but always have great content on hand, on deck, for when the mood strikes, for when I know my audience will appreciate something. And that has really, really helped. So I just want to close off with kind of my 10 commandments for social media content, and the things that I have found in successful coaches and social media personalities, the qualities that they possess to be follow worthy, the people that I'm like, I need to check their account, I need to see what they're posting. And what I found is they're people that ask for nothing. They give away the good stuff. They're not in that scarcity mentality, like, I can't share this because then I won't be worth something. Because you're worth everything. And when you start to give, I recommend, if you guys need personal development in that area, the book, The Go-Giver. But when you give freely and you ask for nothing and you have that healthy balance of challenge group call to actions, but just like, hey, here's some free inspiration. Here's some free recipes. Here's me putting myself out there freely. People are going to trust you. They're going to want to invest in you. They're going to want to support you. Share authentically. I like to share on social media out of the overflow of my life, out of what I'm struggling with, because I'm in it and I'm in the trenches. And I know that better than anything because I'm living it. And so you don't have to be something you're not. You can just share you. Lead by example. So people are not going to do what you're going to do. The fact that you are on a team call right now is exceptional. You're building a business. You're building a legacy for your family. You're building a second stream of income. That's exceptional. So it's going to be a little bit lonely, but I want you to lead. Just know you're leading by example. Another thing that really, really helps on my social media is thinking about being who I needed. Be who the younger version of you needed. Be who the person who had no plan for their fitness and nutrition needed. And think about what they need to hear and put yourself in their shoes, and you can never go wrong. If you're generous, if you show people what's possible in adverse situations, when you're exhausted, when you have to wake up early, when your family's relying on you, when you want that glass of wine, you want that chocolate cake, demonstrating that it's possible to be outside of the norm is going to make you follow worthy. It's going to challenge other people. Always offer a silver lining. when you're being vulnerable, when you're taking people down to that place, make sure you're going to pick them back up. Find that silver lining. You better offer that, because I can't have any negativity in my social media feed. I immediately unfollow. So always offer that silver lining. And then ultimately practice. This is like, I freaked out in my head when Melissa said that I've been coaching for 4 years, because it feels like a minute and I feel like I'm brand new. And all of this stuff I learned in the trenches, collecting information from events and studying people. And I've word vomited about Shakeology. I posted the weirdest sweaty selfies and pictures of my bag of Shakeology. But the only way that you learn is by failing and say, oh my gosh, I'm never going to make that misstep again, because it didn't feel right and it didn't work. And so with those constant course corrections, I believe it's Zig Ziglar and kind of Darren Hardy, and I know that a lot of these personal growth mentors and authors kind of recycle all that the wisdom that they share. But there's that example of the pump, and how people in the beginning, they're excited about their business, and imagine a well in the ground and they're trying to pump out water, and they pump fast and they pump furious and nothing happens. And what they don't see underneath the ground is that vacuum, that suction, that's the water may be 4 feet from the surface, but they stop pumping because there's these bursts of energy. So if you can find for your life a consistent way to post on social media, share your authenticity. Doesn't have to be 10 times a day. If you can only handle once a day at 9 o'clock, that's perfect. But be consistent in it, and people are going to see it. You're going to get better at it, and people are going to really see the real you. And I think that's the most important thing to remember in this business, is that there is so much room at the top. It is not an exclusive place. The people that got there because they were true to themselves, not because they were trying to be anything but who they truly are. And so everything that you have right now, I want you to just believe, and please take whatever my advice is worth. Take it as permission to be you unapologetically, because there are going to be coaches out there that need your example, that are just like you and need you to pave the way and show them that there's room for someone like them in this business, and they can become as they are and be the hero of their own story. So thank you guys so much for your time. I hope this made an impact, and I know you're on an amazing team, so I can't wait to hopefully see your stuff on social media. And I think there's no greater feeling than being successful at being you, because that's just completely authentic, completely validating, and what you have right now is just totally enough.
Yay! Can I give you a high five? Is that what you're doing at Platinum Edge?
Kind of. I haven't really finished the slides, even though they're due at noon tomorrow.
I'm telling you, I am so excited if I get to watch that again, because that was such good information, because I think a lot of people feel like they have to take every little piece of coaching and put it all out there on a weekly basis. And I love how you strategize that. That was a huge aha moment for me. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Can I Rob?
Hey guys.
Can I put you on the spot real fast, Rob?
Yeah.
Okay, just a quick question for you that I've actually been getting a lot, and if Mick was here, I'd put him on the spot too. But being a coach yourself and being supportive of Chelsea, but kind of running your own team as well. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me that, since you're so close with Chelsea and Chelsea's so successful, do you guys run your business the same, or do you do things differently than she does, being of the male persuasion as opposed to female? Is there a likeness, or do you see that?
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually, I hope I don't mess with your head too much. So so for the last 3.5 years, we have run stuff separately, and we share ideas, and there's stuff that we both do that works. But for a really long time, it's been like, okay, well, I'm going to do the stuff that I know works for me, and she's going to do the stuff that she knows that works for her. And we've spent the last 2 years trying to learn how to delegate everything that we can delegate. And we've done that, and effective this past Monday, our 2 teams are now 1 team.
Really?
We took the best of everything that we do, and we hashed out every piece of our business and said, what's better, what's better, what's better. So we've been learning what works for us separately, and now we're saying, like, okay, I like that you do this better, so let's do that this way. And I like that you do this better, so let's do it this way. And it's one of those things where before Monday, we're on day 4.
It's working good.
It's working great. But so before we did things differently, and I think the thing is a lot of guys respond differently than women. And actually, ironically, I will be talking about this on Sunday morning. For those of you who are going to the we'll be doing it in greater detail. But for me, I know that guys and girls are different. And as much as it pains me to say this, you guys know that this is a business, and I'm looking at the screen. This is a business dominated by women, okay? And I think the reason why is because a couple of women started to be really successful in this business, and all the guys instantly tried to say, okay, well, what are the women doing that we're not? We have to do it like that. And when it comes to it, men and women are very different, and I've always thought that you treat them as such. With challenge groups and stuff, I know that most women, and you guys will probably feel this way, you feel really motivated by being a part of something. And yeah, results are important, but the big thing for most women that we've noticed is being a part of something. With guys, for most of us, we don't care about being a part of something. And we got to the point where it's just like, why are we fighting to try to make guys fit into that culture when we can just play onto the fact that guys are competitive and guys are results focused, period. So let's give them that.
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of both, really.
But then also it was our strengths.
Right.
We kind of like took pride. We're like, yeah, he runs his business separate. I run my business separate. And then we realized I wanted to jump off a bridge on one-on-one phone calls talking about team bonus.
So that's what I do.
But he did. Why would we not say, hey, all of you guys, you have 2 coaches? And so I create a lot more trainings and do graphic design.
Yeah, I don't do graphics.
He doesn't do anything.
So like why? And I think that's the thing is a lot of, I don't know all of your individual businesses, but there's probably something that your spouse is good at. Let him do what he's good at. Don't expect him to be the coach that you are. Because if I tried to be the coach that Chelsea is, my business would fall apart. And if Chelsea tried to be the business or be the coach that I am, her business would fall apart. So just find where your strengths are and just leverage those.
Yeah. For sure. Thank you. And I had a young lady come over today. I'm donating some stuff for a charity, and she asked, does Mick help you do the business? And I said, well, what do you mean by doing? She's like, does he coach as well? And I said, no, because his strength is obviously behind the scenes, as I know you two know that, but absolutely that your spouse or your partner does not have to be doing exactly what you do in order for both you guys to be successful. There's the yin and yang of it. And so thank you. I appreciate hearing that because you said exactly what I thought you would. Men do run completely different. And I think that they think with their heads, women think with their hearts. And it's okay to run it a little bit different that way. Whether you're a guy on the team or, your spouse doesn't want to dabble in it, let them do it their way. They don't have to do it your way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to change it too.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that's really, guys, like if there's anything that you're doing that just isn't working, you're like, man, I wish that I didn't have to do this way anymore. Don't do it that way anymore. Like change it. If you could, anything, people always resist change, but anything that you just say like, hey guys, this isn't working. We're going to try doing it this way now. as long as you communicate it, people are always going to be on board. So that was the thing that was hard for us too. It's like when we combined our teams this past Monday, it's like we haven't been doing this for 3.5 years, but you know what? We made a video and it was funny and it was real. We talked about why it was going to be good for everyone. And you guys always have the power to change something if it's not working. So just go for it.
Yes, absolutely. Now, before Chelsea, I have a quick question for you, which is kind of off topic, but not really. But I do consider you very, very good at Instagram. And I noticed here lately, it looks like you're almost making a pattern.
Yes.
You want to share?
Oh, continue. Sorry.
No, I just say you want to share that. Is there a rhyme and reason to that?
Yes. So what I found is that even if like my photo that's in the newsfeed and my caption is killer, they can't follow me from that photo. They have to click on my profile. And so the bio and the way that the top 6 or top 9 photos look is everything. That's your first impression, and you have 2 seconds to be appealing to your prospective follower. So I take a lot of time tweaking my bio, making it look beautiful, and testing out different phrases and words that will encourage people to follow me. But then what I also found was that checkerboard pattern. So I basically alternate a full color photo and then a black and white meme or quote every other photo. So it looks like a quilt. And that one is aesthetically pleasing, and it shows people that I have a strategy so that if they're going to follow me, chances are there's something that's intentionally being delivered and hopefully appears more valuable. But what I've also found is that they're so funny. Like, there's so many funny quotes and memes that are cooler than anything that I could post. And so what happens is I post it every single night at like 9-10 p.m. and everybody tags their best friend or their boyfriend or their cousin. And what it's doing is it's basically giving me referrals. It's instead of the blatant tag 5 people that inspire you, I just like post these sarcastic, ridiculous quotes or like really inspiring things, and they just tag people for me, and my following has just blown up because of that.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's how I grew my Instagram, because those silly videos, people would tag other people saying we should do this exercise. And this is like coffee talk between you and I, but it's good for anybody. I have a really good friend named Augustina Laneri, AGOSTINALANERI. I'll show you next week. But she's a personal trainer, and she comes up and she has the most clever quotes and stuff that I've ever read in my life. I always go on her page and I'm just like, did you make this up? Did you find it? But you're really right about, it doesn't have to be a beautiful picture. It doesn't have to be, a selfie. It black and white or just, written words on a caption can give you the most likes and followers by far. So do as you say, when you're waiting at the bank or, you have construction and it's at a standstill or something, look through your phone and just find some really good quotes, and you can make them your own, like Chelsea said at the beginning, because I was a good student, use your font, use the colors and brand yourself specifically that way. And whether it is Facebook or it is Instagram or even Pinterest, that's just a really good, solid way to brand yourself and create a following. So, yay, I learned.
What is your Instagram screen name, Chelsea?
Oh, it's Chelsea, CHELSEA, and then Blush, BLUSH. And Melissa thought it was Bush, Chelsea Bush. But I'm so glad I didn't make it like Chelsea Bubbles or Chelsea Sparkles. Like, it's stuck, and people think Blush is my maiden name. But it was like a play off of a Bond girl's name. It was my handle before there was a business intention. So I'm like, sweet. It's not like Princess 456 or whatever.
Any other questions, Jeanette?
Not from me personally. I have the chat window open as well, and I haven't seen anybody typing anything. So I'll leave it open for anybody else that wants to unmute or type.
Okay, I'm gonna let you two go. Except one more question. what is a moment in time Monday? What do you specifically post for that?
So moment in time, or I've also heard move it up Monday. And it's like something that was like a really pivotal moment for you. Like when your kid graduated or when you had a really nice outfit. Like it's stuff where you're like, that was awesome. I wish I could like repost that. I wish I could have content like that all the time. It's telling social media, well, I'm going to move it up. I'm going to talk about this moment in time. And it kind of gives like justification for why you're posting it.
Yeah. It's recycling, right?
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Well, I will, that was phenomenal, as I know it would be. I had no doubt whatsoever. And thank you so much for you taking your time, and Rob, for you coming on as well. I really appreciate that. I think power couples in this business speak volumes, and there needs to be more of that. So if you guys ever get any kind of a survey from Beachbody asking what you want, more about couples. How do you get the spouse supportive? How do you work together with your spouse or your partner? And so I really appreciate you guys being a great example of that, and I love you to death. And I get the opportunity to see you in
5 days.
5 days. Biscuit. So on behalf of the whole team, we have so many hundreds and hundreds of people that always watch the recording. This will get watched and used so much, and I'll just really appreciate you guys and love you to death, and look forward to seeing you guys really soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Oh, thanks.